Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2024. There was a time when John Lasseter was one of the most influential figures in animation, being the chief creative officer of Pixar, Walt Disney Animation Studios, and Walt Disney Imagineering. But after allegations of inappropriate behavior behind the scenes came to light, Lasseter resigned in disgrace and, still wanting to work in animation, jumped ship to the newly formed Skydance Animation. Their first film, Luck, came out on Apple TV Plus in the summer of 2022, and while I wouldn't say it was terrible, it certainly wasn't good either, given the bad writing and world building. And this brings us to their newest film, Spellbound, which this time was released by Netflix. Given the less than stellar quality of Luck and the overall generic look of the film, I didn't have that much hope in it being good, even if it had some talented people working on it. Regardless, I gave it a watch and I was very surprised by it. More specifically, I was surprised by just how awful it was. It's set in the fictional kingdom of Lumbria and centers around its princess Ellie, voiced by mommy Rachel Zegler. The previous year, her parents were transformed into monsters, and only now has the kingdom found out about this, so Ellie has to set out on a journey to get her parents back before it's too late. Right off the bat, it's a story we've seen a million times before, with hardly anything making it stand out from its contemporaries. It's about a character being cursed or transformed in some way, and having to set out on a dangerous adventure to undo the curse. One of the human characters gets transformed into an animal and initially hates it before realizing it's not so bad, and just when all hope seems lost, the characters pull through anyway and learn a valuable lesson about family or something. I mean, the message isn't that bad, and it led to a handful of nice moments, but those scenes are very few and far between, and the rest of the film is an absolute slog to get through, with tedious pacing, a myriad of contrivances and conveniences, and largely unfunny humor. The only other positive I can give Spellbound is regarding the oracles of the sun and moon, as in spite of their unfortunately limited screen time, they were surprisingly entertaining and supplied some of the only mildly amusing bits of humor. Also, while it's not explicitly stated in the film, they are 100% gay and married, and you cannot convince me otherwise. I would say that's where my positives end, but I guess I might as well touch upon the animation, since that's been a consistent highlight among Skydance's other projects. And was that the case with Spellbound? I don't know. The character designs are okay, and there's a few scenes where the animation is fluid and energetic, but there's also some significant dips in the quality of the visuals, both in terms of the animation and the effects. I'm sure the crew at Skydance were doing the best with the materials they were given, and there were a few points where their hard work paid off, but overall, I wouldn't say this is anywhere close to being some of the best animation I've seen this year. With all that aside, now I can really start to dig into the negatives of Spellbound, and trust me, there's a lot of those. Let's get back to the writing real quick. On top of the generic and boring story, we also have a cast of characters who are either annoying, forgettable, or a combination of the three. And this is especially the case with Ellie and her parents. The latter two mostly only serve as plot devices to move the story forward and to give a reason for the conflict, while the latter, on top of being another generic teenage girl wanting adventure in the Great Wide Somewhere type of character, is honestly kind of unlikable. This is especially made clear during the climax, where her parents see the error of their ways and realize that maybe they should get a divorce for the sake of their daughter, but she ends up lashing out at them because all she could think about in that moment was herself. Like, what? I'm sorry, but that's not how you write a likable protagonist. By making her get mad at her parents for wanting to find a solution to their problem because she doesn't like it, it makes her look like a selfish and ungrateful brat. And of course her parents stay together in the end, because we can't have a divorce in a kids movie, now can we? And another thing, the songs in this movie are shockingly really bad. And I say that because the music for Spellbound was done by the Alan Menken, and in terms of the score, he did a great job. But as for the lyrics, which were provided by Tangled songwriter Glenn Slater, they were really underwhelming. None of the songs were memorable, and some of them are just the characters talking with nothing interesting going on in terms of choreography. Who knows, maybe this could have been a good movie, and maybe it could have worked with its admittedly simple premise. I wish that could have been the case, because Spellbound is easily one of the worst animated films of the year. Even if it had some passable animation and a handful of amusing moments, those attributes are all but overshadowed by the terrible writing with a tiresomely formulaic story, unmemorable and at times unlikable characters, and poorly written songs that do little to enhance the viewing experience. Obviously, this is a film where you won't miss anything if you skip it. I don't even think I'd recommend this to kids, as there's much better stuff out there that they could be watching instead. And considering how I'm giving Spellbound a 3 out of 10, that statement really holds true. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Isaac Reviews 2024. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all later.